Hello, Mike Pinocchi here, and in this video, we're going to take a look at how we can use the new Periodic AutoTest feature in the EtherScope nXG. Now, this feature came out in version 1.2, and what it does is it helps us answer that question, did we have trouble connecting to the network over a period of time? So when we run the AutoTest on the EtherScope nXG, we can go in and run it, we can get it all set up, we can click on it, we can run the test. But sometimes we have intermittent connectivity problems. So what we want to do is be able to run this test over a period of time to see if the problem occurs. This is where the periodic auto test comes in. So let's jump over to the EtherScope nXG, and here I've gone to the AutoTest app. So what I'm going to do is come up and click on my settings, and I'm going to choose a few networks here to test. Now remember, with the auto test, you can build a number of auto tests and then group those together. And we never want to delete those auto tests. We just want to uncheck them. That way they're available later on. So for instance, in this case, I could come in, I could say I want my no VLAN auto test, and I want to test Netgear 77. And well, why not put in VLAN 10 as well? So now what I'm going to do is on a periodic basis, I'm going to test each one of these. So we're going to come back up here to the top, and this is this new feature that was added in version 1.2. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to say I want to enable my periodic auto test. So I can select the interval, and be careful with this one because if you set the interval too short and you have a whole bunch of auto tests, it could just run one right after the other, and that's not what we want to do. So you may want to set that to 5 minutes or something. All depends on how many auto tests you're going to be running. My duration, I'll leave that at 2 hours. Now, I'm going to add a comment in here. And here's a little trick. Anytime we put a comment in, we can put a / in there, and that's going to create a folder. So watch this. If I say conference room 145. Okay, so let's say I put my EtherScope nXG in conference room 145. I wanted to make sure that I had good solid connectivity in there over a period of time. I could put that in, and what that's going to do is it's going to organize all of my test results into a folder. So when we jump over to that in Link Live, we're going to see that now that we'll have a folder that'll have all that information in there. Now in this case, I'm not going to append the date and time to that comment. I could if I wanted to. So now I'm going to go ahead and go back and go back. There are my tests. So now I'm going to hit start. And you notice at the bottom of the screen, it shows us how much time we have remaining on this, when the next test is going to run. So we're going to connect to our wireless network. Then we're going to connect to our wired network using no VLAN tagging. And after that, we're going to connect to VLAN 10 using an 802.1q VLAN tag. Now, each time these auto tests complete, it's going to upload the test results up to Link Live. It's going to join them together as part of a profile group, and it's going to put them all in that one folder. So we'll wait just a second till this is done, and then we're going to jump over to Link Live and see what we see in there. So as soon as that one's done, VLAN 10 took a little bit longer, but it's done. So now we see we've got about 5 seconds left to go before the next one's going to run. So this will continue to run for the next 2 hours, uploading those test results. So now let's jump over to Link Live and see what our test results look like. Now that we've been running our periodic auto test for a while, we've come over here to Link Live to take a look at the results. So if I come up, I see I've got over 2,100 test results. So I want to narrow in on just those test results for my periodic auto test. So what I'm going to do is come in, and one of my top results is from that periodic auto test. I'm going to click on that conference room folder right there. When I do that, it sets up a filter, and now it filters down on just those test results for that periodic auto test because I put that comment in there. And you know what? I'm really concerned about those periodic auto tests that failed. So I'm going to come up here and say, show me my warnings and failures. So when I do that, it gets me down to those 3 that had problems. So if I take a look at this first one, we come over here, we see our failure was on our gateway right here. And we missed one of the pings to the gateway. Okay. What I'm concerned about are ones like this one right here, where I tried connecting to my wireless access point. Now, what does this tell me about connecting to this wireless access point? Well, it tells me I was able to connect to the AP, but I wasn't able to get a DHCP address. So this means my wireless is working right, but for some reason I couldn't get a DHCP address. And if we come up here and we take a look at our failure on VLAN 10, we see that we were able to get a link, we got our PoE okay, we connected to the switch, but again we had a problem with our DHCP address. So now not only do we know when these problems are occurring, but we know that the problem appears to be with the DHCP server. So using the periodic auto test is a great way to monitor over a period of time and then be able to identify exactly what caused that auto test to fail. And using a folder as a comment allows us to organize those test results in such a way that we can drill in and find out what results came out of that auto test and where did we have the problems. So hopefully this will help you get the most out of using the periodic auto test on the EtherScope nXG.